Welcome.
Barking up the wrong tree. I'll tell you what, Craig. A few brokers barking up the wrong tree with me today. What do you got?
If you're looking to not be disappointed, don't be in the wholesale business.
I remember all those calls I used to hear from you with losing your mind over brokers not listening. But it's kind of why we do the show. Point of the show. I think we should just take a select amount of episodes a year and just, either rerun them or just redo them every quarter, maybe. What do you think?
Everybody, for the most part, people just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. I mean, it's really fascinating that so many people are so wired into that bullshit story they've told themselves, and they just believe it, hook, line, and sinker. And like I said, they just can't get out of their own damn way. And then when you try to give them the advantage of shortening the learning curve, they still won't use it. Because at the end of the day, they're more afraid of what that person, that prospect, that client might say than the discomfort of failing again. You're just addicted to that pain of the status quo, man.
Hey, High Stakes Advising almost sold out August 9th and 10th, Costa Mesa, Orange County, California. Check it out. Jordan Belfort, #1 sales trainer in the world. We are close to being sold out. Can't wait to get sold out so I don't have to promote it anymore. We say, Craig?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Hey, most tickets got sold last year. This year, not a big issue. What's Cali open in 10 days completely? Or they already did it, didn't they? Everything's 100% there, or what?
No. June 15th, everything is officially, finally, everything's open by then. For now, I mean, there's lots of things. Disneyland's open, okay? So,
I was at the one of the big casinos the other day to have a cigar in the cigar lounge there. Wide open, packed. Not a mask in sight, just absolutely packed. All regulations down. People are traveling. You should have seen the line to get in the club. Unbelievably long. Unbelievably long.
I was flying today, right? So I was heading to Pittsburgh and going through Chicago. Absolute zoo, man. You couldn't get a seat at a bar, at a restaurant, no place, But luckily, I get into the private club, so I don't have to worry about that. But man, I mean, there's a lot of pent-up demand. Consumers are out and about. I'm sure business people are back at it too. So tonight, barking up the wrong tree. Really, I love a lot of good things in here. The surprising science behind why everything you know about success is mostly wrong. It makes a lot of great points. Like, hey, John, you ever wonder what happened to the valedictorian at your school? Did they become a millionaire? Well, this guy did a study. Most of them never do. No, they follow all the rules, and they end up right. So in the game of life, just there's a bell-shaped curve, right? Your kids all get graded on it, that bell-shaped curve, and they end up right in the middle. Most of the rule followers in life end up in the middle. It's called mediocrity. Now, one of the things that's apparent is that success is up to you. Right? We can't instill my definition of success on anybody or your definition of success on anybody. It is completely individual. And while some people are happy having a $150,000 book or $500,000 book, other people aren't happy unless it's $5 million. And therein lies the rub. It is up to you. And unless you have the ability to surround yourself with models for how to manage a larger book than what you currently have, you're probably not going to trip over it. You're probably not going to discover it. And even harder to find is somebody who's ever done it who can shorten your learning curve. What we have is a lot of theory out there. It's like, what's the old adage about professors? Hell, you don't know. Those who can do, those who can't teach. That's what they say about school professors.
There you go.
They never actually cut a payroll check. Like politicians, right? They went to law school and then they became a politician. They have no idea what running a company's like, how to deal with employees, how to make payroll.
That's why they talk about, like your son talks about, is like the guys teaching now, the courses, the shows like this, is people teaching it or people that actually do it actually make money and have had success. And I don't care how big your book is. How much money do you net? That's the how much money do you make? You see all these guys, other industries.
That's real talk right there. It doesn't matter how much.
I don't care. People will ask me this, that, or the other, and it's like, well, how much do you make? Right? That's all I want to know is how much money are you making? Just you working in a larger firm and they're taking 80% of your commission. Well, think about it. You can manage a book a fifth of the size on your own and make almost the same amount of money. So
you got to say that slower. You just lost half the group.
Okay, so
do that math for him.
If you had a $2 million book and your big box agency pays you 20%, that's $400,000. You probably could have a $500,000 book on your own and make $400,000. Then now you'd only have to manage a fourth of the accounts. See the math?
See that math? And then go to the next
fourth
level.
Of the renewal meetings.
John, you could have $500,000 cases or 10 $50,000 cases or 50 $10,000 cases, right?
Yeah.
How do you want to run your life? How do you want to manage it? That's how
less employees. Instead of having 3-4 employees to manage that $2 million book, now you got one manage a $500,000 book, and one manage it is probably the stud. You got no schleps. So mine is always a balance of lean and mean and profitability. How do I get to profitability, massive profitability, with less work, less stress, less management of people? Because that's the worst one of all, in my opinion. So,
yeah. How do I do more of what I love, less of what I like, and none of what I hate? That should be the mantra of every broker. Here's another way to look at it. Do less more often to completion. Quit with the, looking at the magazines and the journals and LinkedIn and Benefits Pro website on, every new release of every new product or program or solution or copycat or it's just.
Yeah, guys, ignore a lot of this stuff online. LinkedIn, I remember 5 years ago when I used to be on it more, and it was a great platform, and now it's just become a circle jerk. It's become, people don't know how to market. It's just promotion. It's not delivering value. It's just market, promotion. And a lot of the people on there, I got to tell you, because we're in the wholesale side, we see the people, we talk to them. They're ranting about shit they don't even know they're talking about. They've never done. I've got corrupt brokers on there writing about how corrupt the pharmacy industry is. Every week I see reposts, and
where they been for 10 years?
They're so what?
Where have they been for 10 years? Yeah, it's like they just got to the party.
But they're more corrupt than anybody. It's funny. It's just like, and that's why these employers don't believe the brokers, because 90-something% of them are full of shit. I mean, just be real. You don't have to fake stuff. But so if you're new, and we're talking to the newer guys, because some of the older guys won't listen, but if they do, great. And those that think they know too much, good for them. But the newer guys, think about going on your own. We talked about it on the last show. Don't think you need to know everything. Don't worry about touting on LinkedIn, because people ain't calling you from LinkedIn. Okay. Not the way to market on LinkedIn. LinkedIn isn't the best to market to employers. It is to brokers, but not necessarily employers. If you want to have success, here's Joe Fox in the chat here. Go call Joe Fox up and ask him how to get in front of people, because he booked 30-something meetings last month. So, yeah, I don't know. We're going on a rant here, but
well, they're all lessons, right? A lot of great lessons in this book. We've talked about it before, John. You don't have to work twice as hard to make twice the revenue. That's a lie. That's probably something either your grandpa told you or your dad, who still thinks it's the 20th century, and you get your, you go to high school, you get really good grades so you can get into a good college. Oh, by the way, did you notice you see in the Cal State schools in California, they don't even take the ACT or the SAT now. New announcement, right? Now, I don't want to get into the political reasons why they made that decision, but okay, the model of get good grades in high school, get a high SAT, get into a good college, and get a good job and climb the corporate ladder, and you do pay your dues, do your time, 15, 20, 25 years, make partner, blah, blah, blah. It's a load of crap. That world doesn't exist anymore. Does not. And so I will tell you from my own experience, when I was a younger man and my kids were younger, all I cared about was autonomy. That's why at 24, I went out on my own and I never worked for anyone. 24, guys, never worked for anybody. My wife stayed home, raised the kids. Okay. So I learned on the streets of insurance and was stupid for 15 years until I figured out the game. And I never stopped growing. I don't stop reading. I don't stop looking for shortcuts. I don't stop looking for golden nuggets that I can use and apply and leverage because of my unique skills, right? One golden nugget is a lever that you can use to pry open a whole bunch of business. And that's the whole point. So you younger guys, you probably can work, anybody actually, 20% harder and make 60 to 100% more revenue. That's what working smart is all about. Working hard is overrated, right? That's if you're a ditch digger. Rich, I was youngest of 5 sons. My dad was a general contractor. I worked with the idiot sticks so much when I was a kid that I knew when I grew up, there's no chance I'm going into this business. I'm going to use my brain. The idiot sticks, by the way, are a pick and a shovel. My dad didn't have to buy a backhoe because he could just have us dig the trenches.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, in the beginning, you're going to have to bust your ass. You're going to have to dig the ditch and work around the clock. But this is for a short period to get to where you want to go.
You're going to have to learn to love rejection because you're just not very good at what you do yet. And so you're going to get rejected because your skill set's not there yet. This is all a game of getting your reps in and getting your skill. And this bullshit, 10, 15 years ago, John, 10,000 hours to master anything. 10,000 hours, my ass. You don't need 10,000 hours.
You just need marketing budget. And if you're going into the business, you're going on your own, you're going with no marketing budget, you've already made a mistake. Beg, borrow, or steal. Money is free right now. They're giving money away. Go on all your investment platforms. They're like, look, we'll loan you money at 2%. You don't even have to pull your money out of your investments. If you have, 6 figures in investments, just go on there and borrow from there. Who gives a shit? 7%, 10%, whatever you got to pay. Borrow the money. If you believe in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, then you shouldn't be going on your own. You shouldn't be selling. But for those that are thinking about it, do it.
Here's an easy example. The book uses. It says, when you end up in prison, you're instantly recruited into somebody who thinks that you belong to their group. And, you might call them prison gangs. But they did all these studies and they said, what we found it was interesting. We found that nobody was better at understanding the value of trust and cooperation. So think about you and a center of influence. Think about you and it could be a Paychex, a Paylocity, a ADP payroll clerk who they prospect the snot out of everybody. They have a database like you'll never have, make best friends with them, and you could sell all the little under 100-man groups. Whatever that is, but you develop that trust and cooperation because they said, who better than somebody who's a criminal to understand the value of, as they said, they used the example, imagine a heroin dealer on Yelp. They're like, A++++, you can trust this guy. It's the real stuff. It's, it's not cut. It's not, because if you're not above board and you're not telling the truth and you're not trustworthy and you don't cooperate, you could die. And so they implicitly understand this. And so they were making the point that, everybody, you think, they're in a gang, they're bad people. But they were saying that there's lessons to be learned in business there. And it was primarily let people know that you are trustworthy and can cooperate with them. And you can have a wonderful referral relationship. So I thought it was really fascinating how they used this story of what I would have never thought of, right? So they did all these quirky studies and analysis in all these different industries to come up with why, the conventional wisdom's wrong. When people, this is what it takes to be a success. Not necessarily.
Yeah, I'd like to see that stat of those people that were, smart or successful in high school, and where do they end up?
Right in the middle, they said. They're very rarely the multimillionaires. And then the other thing, here's another thing that most people don't understand.
They're the higher paid employees, maybe.
Yeah, you go into management or something. Maybe you're an executive manager, but they weren't the outliers, right? The outliers, and here's something that people don't understand: the vast majority of all successful business people, Fortune 500, take your pick, they're introverts. They're not extroverts. Elon Musk, introvert. Steve Jobs, introvert. Bill Gates, introvert. They do what's necessary at moments in time for business purposes to be an extrovert.
Yep, I believe it. Look,
but they're introverts.
The more I talk to people, the more I realize I don't like being out in those environments. But when it's showtime, I used to get out of the car with my suit and I'd look in the window, fix my tie, and go, "Showtime! Time to turn it on." Even before this show, today it was tough. It was a tough one today. You got to turn up the spice. Showtime.
Well, yeah, and it can be really tough when you have no control, right? So I get feedback ultimately about meetings I was never in. Like, well, they decided to wait another year. Like, how come that doesn't happen when I'm in the meeting? Yeah, but that's life.
Yeah, I hear you. What else we got on there?
Yeah. Navy SEAL lessons for advisors. Oh God, there's just so many. There's been so many good books on that. Let me find the pages. What's the only easy day to a Navy SEAL, right? The only easy day was yesterday, right? When you think you're done, you still got 40% more. Whenever you think you're done, your brain tells you you're done. Their rule of thumb is you got 40% more. That's a really interesting way to look at life.
Yeah, it's basically when you think you're done, that means you're only 40% of the way there. Your brain just plays tricks on you.
And if you are of the type of personality where, you don't necessarily, maybe you were never an athlete, so you never really learned how to push yourself beyond those moments where your body said, you should stop running now, you should stop sprinting now, you should stop trying now, you should stop lifting now. If you never learned how to get beyond that, then the odds are that also manifests in your life when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Yeah, well, when the going gets tough, a lot of people just quit.
I think that's why it's so great to have a coach, even in this industry, whether it pertains to benefits or just in life or prospecting or sales, because I never played baseball. Shocking information. If you guys didn't know, I was a pretty good baseball player. But I never played as good as I did when I had a really good coach for 2 years that just whooped my ass and made me so scared to screw up that I just played at a superior level. Never got tired, never this, because you were always semi-playing scared of what he was going to say to you or do to you. So, I mean, think about that of accountability. Think about that in this business, in life. If you can get a coach in this business, and I don't care if they know anything about benefits, it doesn't matter. But to stay up your ass, and you got to report to him and report your calls and your numbers and this to him. Well, I bet you your numbers go up.
Yeah, there isn't three brokers out of 100 who are, so good at the technical stuff that's the reason why they have the clients they do. It's just not what happens. So having that mentor, that coach, is to help control, focus the mental aspects of staying on top of your game, because it's all mental. It's the 6 inches between your ears is what controls your life, and that is the challenge. You made an interesting comment that I wanted to comment on. Coaching, mentoring, yeah. I always have some sort of coach that I'm paying, and you know some of my guys. One of the problems brokers run into, right? I had a guy come up.
All right, we've got technical difficulties. Give us 1 second here. Give us 1 second.
Can you see me?
All right, we're back. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, you said something, brokers can't be afraid. They have to be secure enough to know that you can go on vacation. You can take breaks. You don't have to be the one who calls the client back every time to solve the problem. You have to learn to become secure enough to delegate that duty, because I've never met a single client who didn't expect to deal with staff about most issues. A scale of 1 to 10. I've always told my staff, look, we train our clients or our clients train us. Ordering a new ID card for an employee is not a 10, 10 being important and 1 being minor. And so you teach them to tell the employee, your mother doesn't work for the company, take some personal responsibility and call the 800 number and get a new ID card. Change your medical group. Okay? And in California, they've changed a lot of the rules. So some of the things we can't even do for them anymore. You can look on the internet, call the 800 number, and print a new ID card. And so you train these people. And so I see a lot of brokers who are so paranoid that somebody's going to steal their business that it impacts how they manage their life. So try not to do that. Take a chance.
Todd says, what position I play? I played catcher until my knees went bad. My twin brother was a pitcher, so he'd pitch, I'd catch, but we were really good hitters. Then I played second after my knees failed out on me. What else you got here? We'll keep it short tonight.
Well, more examples of how, you have to try and figure out how to optimize whatever you got. So they use the example of Michael Phelps. Legs are too short, body's too long, arms are dangly, feet are too big, hands are too big, looks like a dork when he runs, doesn't appear to have any athletic skill on land. But in water, the guy was a fish, right? And set the record for Olympic gold medals. And so there was a coach when he was a teenager that recognized what a freak he was. And I think he was on the Olympics team initially when he was 15. He was like the youngest Olympic swimmer ever. Because one person recognized this guy is uniquely qualified to be incredibly skilled in water. And so that's where part of everybody's identity of figuring out what will make you successful, right? It's often not what you think it is. So you got to really do, and part of this book is giving you lots of different angles and perspectives on how to figure out what it is that people really like about you and what are the things that you do when you're being successful. Because it probably isn't learning about the nuances of an HRA, HSA overlay wrap program. But it is probably about the psychology.
Wait, is that a new program, Craig? Is that a new program?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man.
Shiny object syndrome. Yeah. What do we got here from Todd? Nice catcher's best position in field. That's what I played. Yeah, it was a fun position. Still, my knees went, but hitting was the best. Yeah, talking about, finding what you're best in. Talk about guy like Todd Hudson, nice guy. Probably best bet is networking. People like him, likable guy, right? Get around people, get in a social environment. He's going to do a lot better than me and Craig are going to do.
He gives
when
good phone.
Yeah, I go back and I look at my client list. 80% of them are Italian business owners. Well, guess what? Italian people buy from me because I'm very much like them. So if you're a certain nationality or have a certain skill or part of a certain group, you might want to get around people that are just like you. Belfort says it the best. When you're in a prospect meeting, you want them to think, hey, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. That's what you want to get them to think.
Yeah.
And if you already have that advantage, if you already have that edge, utilize it, because it's just a way to click and you can reason with each other.
There's no question. The book has a great line. There's no pretty good alligator wrestlers out there. Right? No, if you're a pretty good alligator wrestler, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
Or you're missing some limbs, right? So you got to figure out how to be an excellent alligator wrestler. And that is almost all an exercise in psychology and sales, marketing, and not techno-weenie stuff.
Yeah, figure out what your best thing is. I mean, that's what they do on the football field. Find out what that guy's good at, and that's it. But with that being said, last word, Craig, we'll jump.
Yeah, okay. We'll make it a short night tonight. Here's an idea for your calendars. Calendar your work time. You calendar lunch and meetings and, going to the dry cleaners and getting something for your spouse, or why don't you block out times on your calendar that says work, right? Put that on your calendar instead of all. So think about it. Most of the stuff that we enter into our calendars are distractions. So how about we try to schedule work on our calendar where you don't answer the phone, you don't let anybody come into your office, whatever it is for you, define that, block it out, and in 1-2 hours, you'll probably get more done than you do in the whole day, booking distractions around finding time to get stuff done.
Yeah, how about just right in there, get shit done. Karen Smith says, anything from the book on how Buddhist philosophy holds a superior solution? Any Buddhist stuff, Craig?
I got to look in the table of contents. I actually think there is.
We'll come back to it.
Yes, chapter 6.
You'll have to read it.
Harmony between home and the office, courtesy of Spider-Man, Buddhist monks, Albert Einstein, and professional wrestlers.
Hey, high stakes advising. Finishing up. We'll close it out here. August 9th and 10th. Go ahead and check it out. Almost sold out. Going to be a great time. Hey, we got a new speaker on there. Speaker from HTA, Lee Lewis. Teach you how to hunt some whales. How to sell in jumbo groups. When we say jumbo, we mean jumbo. So going to be some good stuff. Have them there. That being said, we'll close it out there. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. Same place, same time. Heads Up Advisor. Thanks for joining us, guys. Happy hunting. Be good.